Today I have got 10 fragrances that are new inspirations, dupes, clones, whatever you prefer to call them. And each one of these is legitimately the kind of fragrance that you're going to go back to over and over again if you have taste like mine anyway. These are in the realm of can't get enough of, addictive, something like that. I'll have to come up with a different title for the video because those are the kind of fragrances that I really want to get in front of you guys, is the ones that you're absolutely going to freaking love. And legitimately, every one of these I could recommend and say, you're gonna want this. So we're gonna get into this awesome list, but before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Also consider giving the video a very enthusiastic like if you like the content. And let me know down in the comments, what are some of the new clones you've picked up, or even if it's an old one that's new to you and that you absolutely love and you keep going back to. All right, here we go. So first up, this one just came in. I tried to get it the first batch and I missed it. And I think I was one of the first ones to purchase the second batch that came out. FOMO is going to, I think, light up the kind of clone fragrance market. This is a clone of a discontinued fragrance, Gucci Guilty Envy. And right here, we've got this one right here, the Envy of FOMO Les Parfums. Even though they call these Les Parfums, apparently they are extrait de parfum concentrations. And this one is a clone of Envy, which I actually never smelled. Maybe it's just Gucci Envy, not Guilty Envy. I'll put it on the screen, but it's the discontinued Gucci that everybody loves. And here's what I'll tell you about this one. I first sprayed it on and I thought, oh, that's interesting. It smells like shaving cream, like Barbasol, you know, that sort of minty, fresh barbershop smell. And then about 5 minutes later, I kept getting whiffs of something. And I thought, that is so interesting. To me, this is reminding me a whole heck of a lot of John Varvatos Dark Rebel, which is sort of this interesting, dark, tobacco, leather, smoky fragrance. Well, guess what? This one's got leather, it's got a smoky incense, it's got some interesting sort of heavier notes that, honestly, in the dry down, it reminds me a whole lot of John Varvatos Dark Rebel. This stuff is incredible. It's developed almost like a niche fragrance since I sprayed it on my skin. Pick it up while you can. I'm sure it will sell out soon, but they'll have another batch coming. The Envy of FOMO Les Parfums by FOMO. This next one, this is one again that literally blew me away. This is Ramon Baron, Bravanzo Baron. I'll put the full name on the screen here, but this fragrance, if you like dark, rich, mysterious fragrances with some spice and some sweetness, this one right here, Bravanzo Baron, is going to blow you away. This is literally a blend of Mancera Red Tobacco and Parfums de Marly Carlisle. They get that sort of rich, extra spicy tobacco-ness from red tobacco, and then that sort of dark, very, very complex, gorgeous, sweet patchouli from Carlisle that is shared by red tobacco. They take, honestly, kind of the best of both of those fragrances and smash them together. Sometimes it smells like red tobacco to me. Sometimes it smells like Carlisle. Again, this is Ramon Bravanzo Baron. You have got to check this stuff out if you like red tobacco or if you like Carlisle. All right, this next one, I featured it in a video in the last week or two. This one is absolutely gorgeous. If you like Parfums de Marly Althair, this one right here, Liquid Brune. This is F.A. Paris. It's kind of Fragrance World's higher end. Absolutely gorgeous. It is a vanilla praline fragrance, a whole lot of vanilla, also a good bit of praline. There's also ambroxan, amber woods, that sort of synthetic projection power that you get from those kind of fragrance chemicals, but mixing with a little bit of cinnamon spice and some vanilla and some praline. It's the most gorgeous edible gourmand available, and you can actually find this one now in a number of websites. It was about probably 6 to 9 months before you could actually get a hold of this one, and now you can. Liquid Brune, a dupe of Parfums de Marly Althair. Althair. All of you tell me how to pronounce it differently, so I'm doing my best. Let's see. All right, this next one. This one's super interesting. This is the first Swiss Arabian fragrance that I owned. I don't know how in this mess of clones on literally every side of me, but somehow this is the first of theirs that I've had, and this one right here is Shagoud Tonka. And this stuff, I don't know if it's a clone or not, but here's what I can tell you. This is an almond, cinnamon, vanilla, tonka fragrance. I don't know if there's any oud in it. It doesn't smell like it. But what it smells like is almond in the way that you get it in something like, Mancera's Oud Lemon Mint, I think it's called. It's a very rich almond fragrance, or even a little bit like you get it in Pegasus, but it's mixed with some vanilla and some tonka bean and a little bit of cinnamon on top. It almost smells like a cookie or some sort of a baked good with a little bit of spice and a good bit of vanillic sweetness. This stuff is awesome. Shagoud Tonka by Swiss Arabian. Next up, this one I had never heard of. I recently got a shipment of fragrances from Dumont. I bought some of their fragrances and they watched some of my videos and said, hey, can we send you some and you just give your honest view on them? And this one right here is very good. I wore it on Thursday, I believe. This is called Exciting Intense by one of Dumont's sub-brands. And this is basically Paco Rabanne Black XS. It's this very interesting fragrance that's got some kind of sweet gourmand notes, but it's also got a good bit of darkness and aromatic kind of fresh spiciness. It's a nice blend of sweet and kind of aromatic. So I had never smelled Black Excess by Paco Rabanne. I don't know how I missed that one, but I just did. But from what I'm seeing online, this one is quite a good dupe. And as a standalone fragrance, it smells amazing. And this line actually has really great prices. So again, exciting. It's actually exciting in scents, not exciting intense. And it's going to remind you a whole lot of Paco Rabanne Black XS. All right, let's go with this one next. This is a very interesting brand. Soprano is the brand. I have 3 of them now, and I'll be putting them in videos in the coming weeks. Every one of them is dense, it's thick, and it's super high quality. This one is no difference. This is called Soprano Pure, and it's kind of a twist on Invictus. I smelled it initially, and I thought this is basically Invictus, but I just now sprayed the original and compared them side by side, and I got to renege a little bit on that one. What this is Invictus with a little bit of a blue fragrance vibe. It's got a little bit of that sort of clean, aquatic, dense blue fragrance vibe, and not as much bubblegummy sweetness as Invictus has. So here's what I would say. This is absolutely a powerful, long-lasting, grown-up Paco Rabanne Invictus. That's really what it reminds me of. It's a blue fragrance, especially in the opening, smashed with some Invictus, and it's so rich. It's so weighty and thick. This stuff, again, Soprano Pure. If you like Invictus, but you want something not quite so youthful, then check this stuff out. It's really good. What should we do next? Let's go with this one right here. Now, this is one I mentioned once before, but I don't think people really know about this brand yet. Some of you do, because some of you have been telling me about it for a couple years, ever since I started. But anyway, this is from Generic Perfumes. It is a Middle Eastern dupe house, somewhere in the line of like a Dua or an Alexandria, that type of kind of, independent dupe house. This one right here is their take on Beau Paradise Garden. And, this is sort of a green kind of melon. It's almost like a garden take on Beau. So it's got this wonderful greenness. I'm talking about Beau. And a little bit of a melon, like you're walking into a watermelon kind of garden, or maybe like a honeydew melon kind of garden. And so they really nail the garden aspect of this. And about 75% of the fragrance is just Beau, but those extra kind of eccentricities are what make this one. It's really, really good and very close to Beau Paradise Garden. and this is generic perfumes. This is just their standard. It's not even A+, and I'm very impressed. And, you know, there's A+ and A++, which get more dense and higher quality. I think you could go with the standard in this one, and you would be totally blown away like I have been. My sons also have loved this one, Beau Paradise Garden. We'll go with another one that comes from Dumont. This is like they took Dumont Nitro Red, which has gotten a lot of hype. It's sort of like a BR 540 smashed with Invictus Aqua, sort of a dried out fruity take on Invictus Aqua, something like that. But this one has a sweet, thick, fruity blend on top of Nitro Red, almost like a grape juice fruity sweetness. It's that, you know, grape juice to me is like, it's pure sugar. It's very sweet. Imagine a powerful, thick, fruity blast on top of Nitro Red, and this is what you get. It is, again, called Scapler, and I've been very impressed, and I think that this is a pretty inexpensive, I think it's like less than $30, pretty inexpensive fragrance. All right, this one right here, this one has blown me away. I love iris fragrances. I just recently discovered Nishane's 100 Silent Ways. It's sort of this, you know, powerful, powdery iris fragrance with some very powerful, sweet, thick vanilla. And so this one is like 100 Silent Ways, but it's almost like there's a splash of BR 540, maybe even a splash of Herba Pura. It's not as thick and sweet and vanillic as 100 Silent Ways, but it's still got that powdery iris, and it has a very similar structure to Nishane 100 Silent Ways, but it's like it's dried out a bit, or not quite as sweet, with maybe a little BR 540, and there's a touch of fruitiness like you would get from Herba Pura. And so it's one of these sort of, you know, combo fragrances, but if you like an iris fragrance with some sweetness and something a little unique from Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, this fragrance right here, I never even told you what it is. This is Tresador Mystique. Tresador Mystique. And again, this is an iris fragrance with some very unique qualities around the edges. This one has been really blowing me away. And finally, this is number 10 in the list. This one right here is, I think, one of the best Creed Aventus clones on the market. Some people will say it's Aventus mixed with a little bit of Nishane Hasavat, and I do have that one as well, so I'm very familiar with the differences between Aventus and Hasavat. This one, to me, in the opening, you get a little bit of the tartness from Hasavat, but I would say like 85% of the fragrance is Creed Aventus with a little splash of Hasavat in the opening. And this is Dumont Celerio Oros. And so it's like the third Dumont fragrance in the video, but I have been super impressed with Dumont lately. I had no idea they had so many fragrances and so many inspirations of so many great fragrances. If you want a strong, very long-lasting Aventus with a little something different splashed in there, a lot of people love Hasavat because of the similarities to Aventus. Check this one out, Celerio Oros. So that's been 10. Every one of these is something special. They are new on the market, and every one of these I've gone back to over and over again, with the exception of a couple of these are brand new. I've just had them for like a week, and I have been going back to them, but let me know down in the comments, what would you add to this list? Remember to give the video a very enthusiastic thumbs up on the like button if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't done that. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.